So hi, when we're going to this podcast, I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
Throwback Thursday, recorded on a Friday, put out on Monday.
Ooh, we got 3 days of the week.
Yeah.
3 days.
3 days of the week. That's a jumble of words right there.
Big things.
Yes. This week we're chatting about Motionless in White and their 2019 album Disguise. This is we're getting close. We're getting to the end. Next week will be the last Motionless in White record, and then I guess we'll probably have one more discography that'll take us to the end of the year, and we'll be riding off into the sunset here.
It's kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I've thoroughly enjoyed the Motionless discography dive, honestly, like more than I thought I would. I knew I liked the band, but I didn't know like they went this hard.
Yeah,
so real.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the point, because when we started it, you were like you were the one that had suggested it, funnily enough, because you were like, we should do a band that you like this time around, because we had just done Tom Brokaw.
Tom Brokaw.
Yeah, and she was like, I've been getting into Motionless, we should dive all the way in. I'm like, say less, bro, let's do it.
Because I was just listening to Graveyard Shift.
Yeah,
and I was like, can this be? Are you cool with that?
Yeah, like, of course. The next day it was all scheduled out on the calendar. Look at that.
I was like, Jesus, someone's excited. Oh my god.
So as I kind of touched on last week, because Glory went into her history, where Graveyard Shift was the record that she found the band back in 2017, similar way that I found Motionless in White. I found them in 2019 the same way Glory found them in 2017, which was shout out free Spotify and those Spotify ads.
I kind of miss them, but I'm not going back.
If mobile wasn't such a horrendous experience,
oh my god, with the 5 skips,
and everything shuffle all of the time. It wasn't the worst experience on desktop. Like, I can live with ads to save $10 or $11 a month.
Genuinely, yeah. And some of the ads are kind of fun. I like memorizing them. I'm gonna be real.
Discovered some music because of it, like this band.
Yeah.
You know that, and I would get ads for shows in the area, and at the time I wasn't as tapped into what was going on around me show wise, because I was just getting into going to gigs 2019. So you know, it was good. I kind of miss it, and as I said, if the mobile experience wasn't so horrendous and terrible, and just atrocious to use, because I like to listen to my albums and also have the option to skip things, because it's not like, side tangent, it's not like you just click on the record and then it shuffles the album. It plays one song off the album and then it plays whatever the fuck it wants to.
The radio. Yeah, it's like, this roughly sounds like this, and then it'll toss in another fucking song from the album, and then it'll be like, okay, now 10 more songs that are not at all related to this.
And by the way, 5 skips, and if you want another 30 minutes of commercial free music, you got to listen to 9 ads in a row. It's terrible.
Which I did every time. I was like, you know what, fuck it.
If you want another 5 skips, you got to listen to 3 songs worth of ads. All right, sure.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds fair.
Yeah, so I found Brand New Numb. They would play a snippet during one of those ads at the time. And I was like, this goes hard. It was a part of the chorus that Glory just sang so beautifully for us. And I was like, I'm gonna check this band out. I wasn't super into super heavy music at the time. I was kind of sort of at that time like starting to get into Slipknot.
What did you even listen to before then? Was it genuinely like Daft Punk, Justin Timberlake, and like? Nah,
we were getting into like the My Chem era, because I very much followed that like linear path of like My Chem, Fall Out Boy. I got into Black Veil Brides. That was where it like got a little heavier, and then I discovered Slipknot and thought that their masks were super cool, and I was like, I'm gonna listen to this band until it stops giving me a headache, and the rest is history.
Wow, so you just had to push through it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was me too. Yeah.
I watched a Finn McKenty video on like the history of Slipknot. I was like, they have such a dope history. I'm gonna get into this band.
I just gotta get involved.
Yeah. So I checked this record out, and I was like, holy fuck.
Crazy shit.
it completely blew my mind the first time I heard it. Brand New Numb, just like shattered my entire world. This entire record honestly did. I went and saw them a couple months later, and the rest is history. Now I just got back from Scranton, seeing the band 2 nights in a row in their hometown, playing arenas. So it's been a normal trajectory for me, Motionless in White wise, but. This is the record that I guess you could say means the most to me because it's the one that I discovered the band with. So, with that being said, like every other album, I love this fucking record front to back. It opens up so fucking great with Disguise. It sets the tone for the record. I think it's the perfect opener. It's got the breakdown. I have headbanged to this song many, many times and woken up with a bang over the next morning.
Chris calls it.
Catharsis is feels like the closer. They finally they've always been a band that knows how to do the closer, and this track is no exception. Big fan of obviously Brand New Numb, big single. I like Thoughts and Prayers.
Heavy shout out
Thoughts and Prayers.
Yeah.
Legacy, albeit a little bit of a slower song. When a band winds up becoming a favorite of mine, like a My Chem or a Motionless in White, that is when I start to finally appreciate and actually throw in the slower songs as my favorites. Like if you watch our Black Parade review, Glory, it was shocked when I said Disenchanted is one of my favorites on the record.
Yeah, that shit always catches me off guard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of their best songs ever, but it's still just like a... You?
Okay. Yeah. Same goes for Another Life. That song will forever tug on my heartstrings. I would like if they gave it a break live, because I've heard it so many times. Yeah. Including at those last couple of shows I was at, but it's a great song. It always tugs at my heartstrings. I could just sit here and name the rest of the record. All of the rest of the tracks are all pretty fucking heavy and they're all fucking great. But special shout out to Undead Ahead 2, The Tale of the Midnight Ride. But yeah, just front to back, another fantastic fucking album. And I think that, track list wise, because there are a good couple of slow tracks on here. I would argue and say there's 3: Legacy, Another Life, and Catharsis, and I think they do a nice job of breaking it up in the track list. They don't stack them on top of each other. There is a nice flow that gives you this up and down, and it's very much like an even up and down, because like you've got 4 songs into Legacy, and then you've got Undead Ahead, and even Holding On to Smoke. It builds up at the end, but that's a slow start. Another Life, Broadcasting from Beyond the Grave, Brand New Numb, and ends with Catharsis. I just think it's got that nice flow. It's a satisfying listen. So yeah, it's fucking awesome. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. I think that this is one of their best albums. I mean, I don't think that's like a mic drop, hot take. I think most people would agree with me on that.
Yeah.
But it is so nice to see them being able to hear them actually find their sound and the path they want to take, starting on the last record, Graveyard Shift. Fucking insane. This is just the natural evolution. I think it makes sense. The 2 albums fit together. The next album I need to revisit. I'm gonna be honest, I need to revisit that shit, and we will be. So tune in next week for that, whichever day we record it, but it'll always be posted on a Monday.
Yeah.
I think how the record opens with Disguise is incredible. I fucking love Disguise. I haven't listened to it in a couple of years, but I remembered all of the lyrics. Well, my lyrics. Again, we've made this point multiple times. Half the time, I don't even know what Chris is saying. Love it though. Big fan. It's a very big, Energetic song. I think it's an incredible opener. I always love when the title tracks are either the opener or the closer. In my head, that's just where they should be. Headache is good. It still kind of keeps up that energy. It goes directly into Code. Code is really cool. For whatever reason, I have it downloaded on my phone. It's been downloaded for like a couple years. I don't know why. Probably one of your suggestions of revisit, fucking Disguise. And
Possible.
I'd be like, okay. Listen to it. Still a great song. I still really enjoy it.
Or did
Thoughts
they?
and
Or
prayers.
did you like download a set list from the Trinity of Terror? Because they might have played it on the first leg.
I think they did. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There, mystery solved. Thoughts and Prayers is one of my favorite Motionless songs of all time. I fucking love it. It's so angry. It's fucking disgusting. It is just a nasty sounding song, and it makes me very happy. I love it so much. Legacy is great. It's a nice little all right, guys, let's slow down a little bit.
Mhm.
Then Undead Ahead happens, and it's a very uh anthemic sounding. It's just very big sounding. It sounds like it should be played in a fucking arena or a fucking massive theater or something like that.
They
I love that song a lot.
they've always done like theatrics with that song because I got to see them when they were still touring this record. And this was like the one song that they brought out like a character, like they brought out like
Oh shit.
I think it was a pumpkin of some sorts, like some sort of like spooky fucking character thing. There's a like live music video for the song where you can see that that figure come out. So they've that's that was when the budget was still on the smaller side. Obviously, with this new album and the touring cycle since that new
the
record,
money.
there's been all sorts of crazy shit. They got dancers now and all sorts of crazy things.
Crazy shit, yeah.
But that was the production value when they were opening for In This Moment of October of 2019. They were
Opening
yeah.
for In This Moment.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
they were still doing like some sort of theatric for that song because it is like that big moment.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. So really big fan of that song. That's a new one that I wasn't super familiar with. I remembered a good bit of the album from just like the one or two times that I actually listened to it because I never, so you said before, I've listened to Motionless, but I never got into them. I'd listen to like the newer albums once or twice and then said, yeah, it's good. And then just kind of moved on. Really liked that one though. Holding On to Smoke was nice as well. It was a little spooky sounding. It kind of felt like their Halloween track off of the record. I don't know why, but that's just I mean, it's fucking Motionless in White. They're gonna have a spooky moment. Another Life. Great song. Very sad. Makes me very sad, but I mean I love it. It's massive, it's big. I love the end of it where it strips back to acoustic, where it's just Chris in like a empty room with just an acoustic guitar. I think it really kind of it's a fucking gut punch. I love that song a lot. And it's their most streamed song, I think. So it makes sense. Broadcasting from Beyond the Grave. Wait, fuck, there's more to that. Uh Death Inc. Okay, they're so fucking corny. I love them. This is like my second favorite track off the record. I fucking love it. It's just heavy-ish. Oh my, why is it the lowest streaming song? Am I tripping? It's 4 minutes long, guys. Why isn't everyone listening to this? This is the second best song off the record in my opinion. It's incredible. It's fucking fun as shit. And I love like that type of song where it kind of starts off with like you're listening to something something something. It's like fucking Tyler has that a couple times off of Flower Boy because it's I think it's like Golf Radio is what it's called. And I think it's on Cherry Bomb as well. But just that kind of thing where it's like it's an experience and it's kind of giving you a visual and it's kind of placing you somewhere while you're listening to it. I love that shit. That should have more streams. I'm flabbergasted. I don't know why the fuck that only has 7 million streams. Brand New Numb is Brand New Numb. Everyone and their mother fucking knows that song. It's incredible. It's catchy. It's an earworm. I mean, again, it was one of those songs where I haven't heard it in a couple of years, but I knew all of my lyrics.
Yeah.
So fucking incredible. And then Catharsis, I thought it was a great way to kind of tie the record up. I think it's a great closer. It's big. It's a little melancholic. I loved it. Yeah, big fan of this record. Another note about Brand New Numb. I fucking love the intro. It is one of the most satisfying intros ever, where it's the like, it's like a sound from the booth, but not the actual mic sound. It's kind of like someone recording outside of it where he's doing like the strumming. He's like, I'm trying to fucking record this.
Yeah.
Then it kicks into the song. Oh,
Goes so hard.
I love that part so much. I remember when I first heard that shit, I was like, oh, they're serious about this shit. Just those little that type of shit. Perfect. I love it.
Those are our thoughts on Motionless in White in their 2019 album Disguise. Big fans of it. Lots of big anthemic moments on here.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be chatting about Scoring the End of the World, and then we'll be on to the next discography from there. You can follow us on Twitter. It's Good Noise _cast. Instagram is Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. YouTube is Good Noise Podcast. All your streaming services is Good Noise Podcast. You can follow us right here on YouTube or subscribe to us. It would help us out a ton. We've been diving into all of Motionless in White's albums. All of those are in the description. We've chatted about other discographies as well. The Warning, My Chemical Romance, and Don Broco. Next week, we'll be finishing off Motionless in White's discography with Scoring the End of the World, and then we'll be on to the next one. So if you like that stuff, tune in. Other than that, I have been Shane.
I've been Glory.
And we have been the Good Noise Podcast. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.